All right, welcome to another edition of Psoto Desperado plays Star Wars: The Old Republic. I have a bunch of little heroics I'm going to do just to make some money. Was going to go ahead and continue the storyline, but not right now. But I'm going to see if I can play something in the background. I'm going to try right now. All right. So hopefully that won't close out Star Wars. This is Jeremiah Babe. People have no idea how bad it's going to get. I think he's got some interesting things to say. Here we go.
It's Tuesday, December 24th, 2024. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank everybody for the prayers, the thoughts, the incredible letters, the Christmas cards, the support, everything. I want to thank everybody for that. And as I start the video today, I just want to share a story. Just basically, I've said this many times. As I was out running errands today, I drove by Eisenhower Hospital. And it is the busiest place in the desert. And I want to remind every one of you how blessed you really are to be able to, watch this show on your, $1,000 phone, your multi-$1,000 computer, your $1,000 television. You're blessed to be alive today. Now, some of us, we have some aches and pains. Maybe our eyes aren't as good as they once were. Maybe we have a little less energy that we once did. Let me tell you something. Those people in the hospital today that I drove by at Eisenhower, they would trade with you in a heartbeat. They would give you everything they had to be in your shoes today. And I drive by that hospital daily, and it always reminds me of just how blessed I am to just be alive today, being able to just go out and walk and talk, make these shows, talk with all of you on a daily basis. We take a lot for granted. And this Christmas, I was just thinking about that. We take so much for granted that we can sit down with friends and family. We can have a meal. Some of you may be getting very nice Christmas presents. But most of all, you're sitting down, having a meal, spending it with friends, family. And if you're not, at least you're alive today. At least you're functioning. At least you're healthy. Those people in the hospital would give everything they had to just be in your shoes today, just to have health, to be able to not be in that hospital bed, but to be out and about today, doing whatever you're doing. So you are extremely blessed. It doesn't matter what your zip code is, where you live, you're sleeping in a garage, you're driving a 30-year-old car. It doesn't matter. You're alive, you're walking, you're talking, you're functioning. You are so blessed. So I wanted to remind everybody, don't take it for granted. There's a lot of people out there not doing so well. And as I was out today, I saw a lot of homeless people too. A lot of homeless people pushing carts today. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares. If you have family and friends that care about you, you're extremely blessed. I want to shift gears here now, get into some of these articles I was reading this morning. Rand Paul, Festivus report shows Fed spent millions of dollars torturing cats. $10,851,000. $10,851,000. This is where our tax dollars went. And what they did, and I won't go into all the detail, but they were making incisions, exposing spinal cords, and then hooking those spinal cords up to electrodes and shocking some of these animals up to 10 minutes. This is absolutely sickening that we are doing these type of procedures to innocent animals. Some people don't like cats. That's fine. But to do this to any animal, whether you like it or not, is absolutely disgusting. And what's even just as disgusting, if not more, is they're taking our tax dollars and using it to torture animals. Absolutely disgusting. I think anybody with a soul would not support anything like this. This kind of stuff right here is such a waste. And just spiritually so evil. I do not even know how this country even allows things like this to take place. Let me know your thoughts on this. But again, it's just unbelievable, the waste of money and the evil that is taking place. Rand Paul's annual Festivus list highlights over $1 trillion in government waste. This on the Hedge. So the insanity of waste continues. And just a few highlights in the article here on the Hedge. $3 million for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show. $365,000 for a circus in city parks. $720,000 for conservation of ducks in Mexico. This is what we are spending our hard-earned tax dollars on. So while there's a lot of people struggling this Christmas, trying to put food on the table, trying to buy some Christmas gifts for their kids, think about where your money's going. It's going to garbage like this. It's going to torturing animals. It's going to Sesame Street shows, climate action in Brazil. It's unbelievable, the waste that is going on. And of course, we have our good people in North Carolina who are literally living in tents right now, freezing. Many really struggling to survive at this point. And here we are just completely wasting so much money when we could be helping so many people in this country. It's sickening. Breitbart, meet some of the violent killers for whom our president commuted death sentences. Commuting death sentences of 37 of the government's 40 death row inmates, giving them life sentences instead. These are violent killers, ladies and gentlemen. I was reading some of their crimes. I'm not going to repeat them on this show, but these are very violent people who committed atrocities, heinous crimes, and they're not going to get justice. And my heart goes out to the families whose loved ones were brutally tortured and lost their lives to these people. The victims' families are not going to get justice. What about the victims' families? This is just, why would anybody not prosecute these people to the fullest? Why are they letting them off the hook and allowing them just a full life sentence? Which again, guess who's going to pay for these people to live? Some of these people are going to live 40, 50 years. It's a lot of money. A lot of money to keep these people incarcerated. A lot of money. And they shouldn't even be walking on the face of this earth now for what they did. The crimes are too brutal to even talk about. Unbelievable what some of these people did to just everyday innocent people. And their families are suffering every day. Never going to forget what happened. And they will be haunted by this every day. USDA announces recall on more than 10,000 pounds of pork product across 4 states. So here we go again. More problems in the food industry. I highly recommend, as we are heading into 2025, that maybe you bulk up on some more food storage, emergency food, canned food, be putting it away because we have no idea what's coming in 2025. We've seen how many chickens and turkeys had to be put down this year. The egg crisis now with Costco, and it seems every week there's another recall with a vegetable or pork or meat or whatever it might be. There's always a recall, and we saw so many of our food processing plants close down this year too, that we don't know if there's something bigger around the corner. So make sure that you have minimal 3 to 6 months of food. I think you should have at least a year, but do the best that you can and have as much food put away as possible, and water. We all need to be working on this, and we'll talk more about that in the following weeks. But also, one thing I want to bring up here too is about a week ago, I was at the grocery store, and we were doing some shopping, and I was going to buy some bacon. The bacon was nearly 3 weeks from its sell date. So it should have been sold 3 weeks prior. So it was literally 3 weeks over the sell date. So it should have never been on the shelves. And I've noticed, looking more at dates, that a lot of the food on the shelves is old, and it shouldn't be even on the shelves because it's past its date. It's past the sell date. So pay attention to that stuff because you do not want to get sick. But we're going to see more issues with chickens and turkeys and eggs and pork and beef, more recall. So make sure that you have food put away for an emergency. A debt jubilee of biblical proportions is coming. Are you ready? This was an article today on The Hedge. There's going to be big winners. There's going to be big losers, ladies and gentlemen. Biden's plan for student loan forgiveness marks the beginning of a modern debt jubilee, or beginning of modern debt jubilees. Pouring roughly $500 billion of gasoline on the inflationary fire that is already burning. Completely reckless, ladies and gentlemen. His student loan jubilee will set a precedent, it says, that will be hard to undo. Many avoided student debt by choosing less expensive career paths. Many people said they're just not going to go to college. Many people had to work 2 jobs in order to pay it down. So now you have people that did all this, and now they're footing the bill for the people who no longer say that they're going to pay the bill. So the people who made the sacrifices, the people who didn't go to college, the people who had to work multiple jobs to pay all this off, now are footing the bill for the people who reneged on the agreement, the people who didn't fulfill their obligations. So everybody else, including the plumbers, the truck drivers, the construction worker, they're all going to be paying for these people. As interest rates continue to rise, the cost of servicing this record debt is becoming unbearable for many. As Americans hit their breaking points, debt forgiveness demands will only grow louder. So what example does this give people that, well, if you forgive people with their college debt, how about you forgive me of my mortgage debt, my auto debt, my credit card debt? You forgave them. Why don't you forgive me? This is where it's all going to go. So the government is really setting some bad examples and pushing themselves into a corner where people are going to start demanding that they get their debts paid off. The U.S. government is now trapped. It is game over. The coming debt jubilees could wipe out trillions in liabilities while unleashing unimaginable inflation. The more money they print, they begin to pay off other people's debts like they're doing with college tuition debt. This is going to be extremely inflationary. Where does the money come from? They have to borrow it. They have to print it. They have to tax it. Currency, bonds, paper assets will be the biggest losers. Own scarce and valuable assets that are not simultaneously someone else's liability. This would be gold. This would be silver. And this is according to the article. People have no idea how bad this could get. I think I have an idea, and I think many of you have an idea, but most people have no idea because they're out Christmas shopping, they're celebrating, God bless them. They're running up the credit cards, they're getting deeper into debt, and then they'll beg the government to pay it all off for them. This could get really, really bad. And there's a price to pay for this. It's called inflation. It's called inflation. And be extremely careful here, ladies and gentlemen. Owning some gold and silver, not financial advice, I think is extremely important. If you need help with that, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. There's never been a time, in my personal opinion, that has been more important to own hard tangible assets like gold and silver as it is right now. We are at a point in our history where I think we're going to see some big events take place. We're going to see big inflation. We're going to see big problems with the US dollar, big problems with debt, big problems with credit. So make sure you're protecting yourself. Stressed Amazon delivery driver dumps 80 packages in wooded area, police say. This happened in Massachusetts. This on Fox Business today. People are stressed out, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to the grocery store. Just go to a Costco. Look at people. They will literally run you over in the parking lot. They will run you down in the store. Nobody says, excuse me. Nobody gets out of the way. There's a lot of people, no doubt, on pharmaceuticals that, are not functioning properly at the moment. That was another point I wanted to bring up yesterday on the movie Homestead, that it did bring up something that made a really, really good point. And one of the people in the movie, the husband to this woman who was at the compound, started acting really, really bizarre. And she said, well, my husband's out of his meds. He doesn't have his meds. And so he was acting all crazy, right? It's another problem we're going to run into down the road as things break apart and people cannot get their meds. You're going to be dealing with some very, very unbalanced people. And just going to a Costco, going to the grocery store, go anywhere, and you're already seeing it. You're seeing people that are very unbalanced. I think that they're maybe not on their meds. Imagine what this all looks like if we have a interaction with China, a negative interaction, a war, things heat up between America and China and they start cutting pharmaceuticals off. If people are acting this bizarre right now, if they're this stressed out right now, what happens if they don't get those pharmaceuticals? Because the average American is extremely stressed, and they should be, because they know that they're so loaded with debt and they're continuing to spend, they're continuing to take on credit cards, and they're going to get more stressed out. So be aware of that. And you know, people are very short fused, they're very high tempered. Be careful out there when you're driving around. You know, I'm hearing of people getting into fist fights over parking spots and throwing bottles at people's cars, taking a parking spot. It's not worth it. Drive away, avoid confrontation at all costs. But you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know if somebody just lost their job, they're getting a divorce, they're losing their house, they're being evicted. You don't know what's going on with somebody's life. And people, when they lose everything, they just lose it. And people are losing it. I will finish with this last article on the hedge. These are the most desired Christmas gifts in the United States this year. Number one, take a guess. Take a guess. What's the number one Christmas gift? You guessed right. It's cash. Cash is still king. That was the number one gift for men and women. Number one. Number two, for men and women, clothing and shoes. Number three, for men and women, vouchers and gift cards. Those were the top three. But cash was king. So let me know what you think about that. I hope everybody gets what they wanted for Christmas. Most of all, I hope you have your health. And even beyond that, I hope you're walking close to God. And I think as we get closer to 2025 and we all have some New Year's resolutions, I hope yours is walking closer to God. Most of all, I hope everybody gets closer to God. We're only here for a short period of time. People are stressed out. People need direction. They need security. Make sure you're saying your prayers. Walk close to God. God will look after you. I'm going to leave it there today. Have an incredible Merry Christmas. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be careful out there. Talk to all of you very, very soon. It's Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Thanks for tuning in today.
Get your cash out of the bank. If the internet goes down, you're done.
Please make sure to like this channel. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and share all my videos all over your social media. I'm going to get right into it today. Yesterday, we were talking a little bit about this migrant accused of torching this woman on a New York subway. And he has been officially caught. He is from Guatemala. He is here not legally. He was actually deported back in 2008, but made it back into the United States of America to commit more crime, such as torching a woman on a New York subway. My heart goes out to her family. What a terrible way to lose your life. What a god-awful way to lose your life. The pain and suffering this woman must have went through, it had to be so agonizing. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. And yet it's happening right here in America, New York City. Look, I'm not going to sit here and get political, but there is a right and a wrong. We cannot have people like this completely unvetted, coming into America and torching people while they're sleeping on a train. This is absolutely unacceptable. This is demonic. Could you imagine if this was one of your family members? Again, a woman torched to death on a subway train in New York. This is unacceptable. This is pure evil. Again, this is not political. This is just right versus wrong. This is good versus evil, and this is a very, very evil human being that did such an atrocious thing to another human being. And this person should be prosecuted to the fullest extent. I don't think they could prosecute this person enough, do enough to this person for what this person did to this woman. My heart goes out. Say a prayer for this woman's family. Rest in peace. Wall Street Journal, U.S. consumers feel less confident as economy concerns mount. You know, people will still write me and go, where's the collapse? Where's the collapse? You're watching a massive collapse take place right before your very eyes. It's been taking place for years, and it is going to continue to collapse. I was watching a little bit of this video with Greg Hunter, Depression, Debt, Default, and Destruction in 2025. His guest, Martin Armstrong, smart guy. And just a couple bullet points on this interview, and you can check it out yourself. But Martin Armstrong says what the average guy, what the average person should be doing right now is getting cash out of the bank and having access to their cash, put it somewhere safe, but it should not be sitting in the bank. Have enough to pay your bills. He was going back to the Florida hurricane, and he said CBDCs are nice. Bitcoin is nice. But what's the reality? If the internet goes down for 10 days, your CBDCs, your cryptos, your Bitcoin is completely useless. Your credit cards are useless. Your debit cards are useless. Cash and physical gold are the reality. That's what somebody will take. A farmer will take gold, silver for food. A neighbor will take cash, gold, or silver for some food. But like he was saying, you could not have even bought food back then with a credit card, a debit card, Bitcoin, none of this stuff. The only two things that you would be able to purchase food with were physical gold, silver, and cash, especially cash. So something to really think about, and just to transition off of this interview, we went out and saw the movie Homestead last night, and I don't want to give the movie up, fast forward through this part, but I'm not even sure if I recommend you see this movie. I'm going to say it was better than Civil War. This movie really had me on the edge of my seat for a little while, to about 70-80% through the movie, and then the bottom fell out. But just to give you a little bit about the movie while it's still fresh in my mind, the movie starts out in Los Angeles, and there's some newcomers on a boat off the beach of Southern California. And what are they doing? Well, they're bringing in a nuclear bomb on this boat, and then they detonate it. So now, all of a sudden, you see Los Angeles. The skies are orange. The air is smoky. People are panicking now that a nuclear device has gone off in LA County. And people are, rushing into their cars, jumping on the freeway, driving to God knows where with this, orange sky, very eerie, ominous looking. I have to say, it really caught my attention in the movie, this nuclear fallout. Some people were prepared. They were grabbing their go bags. They were going to destinations in the movie. They had a plan. And most people didn't. They were stuck on the freeways. They were going to gas stations, grocery stores, fighting one another. The grocery stores closed the doors. They were out of food. It was, very realistic through the majority of this movie. But very quickly, the gas stations and the grocery stores wiped out. And of course, if you're driving an EV, good luck getting out of town with that. Now, there were multiple family members in this movie. They all played their own little part, but one family had some other family members who were very, very wealthy, had about a 40,000 square foot compound in the mountains of Colorado, and this is a very wealthy man. He's got gardens, he's got a lake, Stock Lake, he's got irrigation, he's got wells, he's got greenhouses, he's got thousands of pounds of emergency food. Name it. This guy was prepared, right? So this one family is trying to get out to her brother's compound, and it's in Colorado. Huge house. This guy in Colorado hires a bunch of ex-military special forces to protect the property. They come out, and as all this is transitioning from one end to the other, everybody's trying to go wherever they're going. Some people have no plan. Their neighbors are being robbed. Violence is erupting in the neighborhoods. And so, to make a long story short, the one family gets to the compound. Another family gets to this compound, knew this guy, but they weren't very close to him. And so now it was only, family members and security at the compound. So they closed the gates, and all these people who knew about the house up on the hill, that knew that this guy had food, had shelter, he was prepared. All the people from down below the hill are coming up the hill to come to this guy's house. Why? Because he has security, he has shelter, he has food, he has water, he has preparations. So whether you knew this guy or not, you're going to his house. And of course, the one family goes, oh, we're going to, Joe's house, whatever his name was. He's got security, he's got food, water, we can go there. So everybody was going to this guy's house. Now, they locked the gates. They said, we can't take any more people in. And the security team said, yeah, we cannot take these people in. They're a liability. And so you can watch the movie, but at the very end, the wife of this wealthy man, she's like, it's love. We have to put love over everything. We got to feed these people. We got to take care of these people. So her husband gets injured. While he's injured, she opens up the gates, tells security, open the gates up and let all these people in. So they let all the people into the compound now. And of course, it's utopia now. All these people have skills. They're growing. They're working on the compound. They're putting in more greenhouses. One guy builds chimneys and he's heating the greenhouses, and it goes on and on and on. And so now we have a utopia that basically just let everybody in. So it was kind of a mixed message. To be the first 70-80% of the movie seemed very, very good, and then that last 20%, just let love take care of everything. We've got to take care of everybody. And so you have that symbolism of the gates at the house. Open the gates up and let everybody in. Kind of like maybe here in America, just we don't need walls or security. Just let everybody in and let's feed everybody and take care of everybody. And that's what this woman did. They let everybody into the compound, and everything was fine. And so I thought that was a real mixed message there. And my question is, what happens when those people that you let in don't want to sleep in the tents now at the compound? They want to live and sleep in your 40,000 square foot mansion. What happens when the medicine that you had stored starts to run out because more people are getting sick or injured? What happens when the food runs out? Now you've let in hundreds of these people. What happens as the resources dwindle away and maybe these people get more aggressive and believe that now they're entitled to more than what you originally said that they could have, like saying, hey, we're going to sleep in your house. It's warmer in your house. Why can't we just stay in your house? And then what happens when the next group of people show up at the gates? And are you going to let them in? And then the next group of people show up at the gates. Are you going to let them in? And so the father, the head of the family, he did not want to let anybody in. Security didn't want to let anybody in, but his wife let everybody in. And so to me, that was really symbolic of let's just let everybody in, take care of everybody, pay for it, and then we run out of all of our assets and resources, then we'll worry about it later. But letting in all these people unvetted and losing up and absorbing all your resources made no sense to me whatsoever. So if you see the movie, comment down below. If you have seen the movie, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Again, the first 80% was very realistic. The East Coast went down, cyber attack. West Coast hit by a nuclear bomb. It was very realistic. Caught my attention. But that last 20% of the movie was very, very confusing. Why would you you jeopardize your family and your people to allow all these people into your property. I don't get it. To me, sent a very, very bad message there. But anyways, if you've seen it, let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm interpreting it the wrong way. Let me know if you saw it, how you interpret it, what message you got out of it. Be curious to know. Nearly 2,000 American CEOs quit in 2024, setting new record. We talked about this before. Why are so many CEOs, or why have so many stepped down and walked away? Do they know something that most Americans do not? Comment down below. The Container Store files for bankruptcy, NPR today. So they finally did it. They finally filed for bankruptcy, another sign of the times. Here's another one today. This coming from the visualcapitalist.com, visualizing major U.S. banks' real estate exposure. Today, as the 10-year bond yield hit 4.6%. Citigroup sitting on $945 billion of commercial real estate. Bank of America, $1.1 trillion. JP Morgan sitting on $1.4 trillion of commercial real estate. Wells Fargo, $684 billion. Let's see, who else do we have here? U.S. Bank Corp, $378 billion. So the numbers just go on and on and on. It's a lot of money. And I bring that up because 10-year bond yield, 4.6% today, ladies and gentlemen. Not good for commercial real estate, not going to be good for banks. And these are the bigger banks. Imagine these smaller and regional banks, the devastation that is going to unfold in 2025 as far as commercial mortgage-backed securities. Wall Street Journal, a looming threat to Bitcoin, the risk of a quantum hack. A very, very interesting article. It says here, a time bomb ready to explode. Google has claimed a breakthrough with its new Willow quantum computing chip, which could enable hackers to one day break the encryption that keeps Bitcoin secure. When that happens, it's not a matter of if, when. This stuff is going to be completely worthless. It will be completely useless. This is on the Wall Street Journal today. Be extremely careful where you're gambling, ladies and gentlemen. This is not investing. This stuff is not investing. This stuff is very fragile. And the technology is coming very, very soon that is going to allow hackers to break into this stuff, steal your crypto, steal your money. And
what the John?
We go back to the quote, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? There's just too much technology out there that can hack into a computer, hack into cryptos, and steal this stuff. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. The technology is here, ladies and gentlemen. They're refining the technology. And when this happens, this stuff is going to be very exposed. This stuff is going to be literally, in my opinion, useless. Absolutely useless. So be very, very careful where you're gambling. Again, cryptos to me is not investing. It is complete gambling, and people are going to be wiped out if they're not careful. And again, if you can afford to gamble, make a couple bucks, God bless you, but be aware of what you're dealing with. So I'm going to wrap it up right there today. Market's pretty flat today, but that 10-year is very, very concerning. As I make the video, I think we're at about 4.9%. This is going to be very, very bad for anybody who has to borrow money. If you're going to be buying a car, if you're going to be buying a house. I did not check the 30-year fixed rate today, but I would imagine it's somewhere hovering near 7% at the moment. This is going to be very, very bad for real estate. This is going to be bad for commercial real estate, residential real estate. It's going to be bad for the auto market. Anybody that needs to borrow money, anybody that is taking on debt, this is not good. And I think that this is probably the biggest news today, not really the markets, but the 10-year. Keep your eye on the 10-year, this debt market. This is a red flag right here. And, you know, if the 10-year hits 5%, what happens? Are the wheels going to come off this thing? Are we going to see real big trouble if we hit 5% on the 10-year? Can we hit 5%? Yeah, I think we can. Are we going to see 7+, 8, 9%? mortgages? Yeah, I think we are. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm going to stick to that. We've been hovering right around 7. That 10-year keeps going up. And these banks are going to really begin or are going to continue to tighten up on lending money, especially mortgages. You're going to see, 7+%, probably 8+% on a 30-year. So something's going to have to give. And I don't see mortgage rates going down. Prices of homes must go down, or things are just not going to sell. And at some point, there are people that have to sell, whether it's somebody passing away, a divorce, work, losing a job, illness, whatever. People have to buy and sell every day, and sellers are going to have to come to the realization that your home price is going to have to come down, because you've been on the market for 250 days, 300 days, and you're asking yourself, why isn't this house selling? My agent said it's the most beautiful house in the neighborhood. Your house isn't selling because it's overpriced. If your house hasn't sold in 30, 45 days, it's overpriced. It's stale. There's a reason why. And usually 99% of the reason it doesn't sell is because of the price. And I'm watching a lot of inventory pile up. 150 days, 200, 250 days, 300, 400 days on the market. Why is that? Because all these homes are overpriced, and their agents are not being straight with them. They're not educating them. They don't want to lose the listing. But if you're an agent, you got to do the right thing. You should be honest with your people, because every day that goes by that they're not selling their house, they're losing money. They're falling behind the 8 ball here, and they're going to continue to chase this market down. And if you want to lose money quick in real estate, chase the market down. The smart money gets ahead of this and figures out that I want to be the first house on my block out of here. And how do you do it? You price it right and you get out. Too many people, they're greedy. They're going to chase this market down, and they're going to continue to lose money all the way down. So if you're selling your house, be careful, be cautious, and be aware of what's going on. God bless. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. Talk to all of you soon.
Oh, it didn't drop me off on the right place. It's supposed to be dropped off around here. Hopefully those bots won't follow me. Okay. Alright guys, I'm a little tired. I'm going to take another break. And looks like Star Wars conked out on me. But I'd like to thank you for watching. And that was Jeremiah Babe. You take care, guys. Thank you for watching.